I'll tell you a wee story. When I was a little boy, must have been about 4, and I was up in my bedroom at Castle Fraser, and I looked out the window, and I saw my mother taking out the end of the road on her bike. So I thought that she'd run away, so I came down, and I was outside sitting in the close, greeting. When my mother came back up the road, she'd been after the post a letter. And it, like things like that, and I mind about that like as though it was yesterday. And I was only about 4, and I can't really mind about sitting outside and my mother coming up the road. And I was so pleased to see her coming back. And that's the kind of things that you mind about.
I worked as a home help and a home carer. And then I stopped working to look after a wee rascal, my grandson.
I started off when I was 15, but I wanted to be a joiner. But at the start off as a slater's labourer for a year before I was 16. Then I got into the joinery. So that was my livelihood. I was a joiner all my days.
Drove a lorry most of my life. I started as a second man when I was 15. And when I was 17, I started driving a lorry. Cattle floats, and then I went on and drove petrol tankers.
I used to work like an old lady on my way home from a school at Skene, and I can remember her telling me the first time she ever saw a motor car. They ran to the bottom of the road. They were in a croft at Skene and saw this car going past, and it belonged to Lord and Lady Proctor, who left their house for Proctor's orphanage at Skene.
I remember when I drove, I used to run to London, and Meg, my wife, and the kids were all little. And I didn't have a mobile phone, and we didn't have a phone in the house at Moneymask. And Meg used to go down to the phone box, and I went into the phone box, maybe down in England, and phoned to the phone box, and Meg answered it and told her what I was doing and went on by home. And she had to walk down there about 7 o'clock at night. We said for the time I would phone, and that was why you could keep in touch. Like,
I met your grandma at the Inverurie dancing. She come from Boxburn, and I come out to the Inverurie dancing. So I just met her here, and we just went together for 4 years before we was married. There was a Towns Hall and the Railway Hall, which is a bar now. And the Towns Hall was more modern dancing. Like in the waltzes now, that was in my day, you see, the waltzes, and then the rock and roll come in, and they took over. But in the Railway Hall, it was just the accordions and the fiddles, which was the my scene.
I still remember things about the girls getting married. Well, it'll be 34 years on Saturday. Diane and Duncan got married, and it had been snowing all night. Ground was white with snow in the morning. Diane and me got up 26th of May.
well, I remember there was BBC, and there was this Grampian television was going to start up, and it had started, and we had a bush television, and I must have been about 12 or 13, and my mother and father went away, and I was fiddling about with the television, and there was a button that you pulled out, and you twisted it round, and this was for the channels, and I found this Grampian television when they were away. And when they come home, I was fair chuffed, because I says, we've got Grampian TV again. And it was just because, well, I just found it, like, and it was good.
Well, there was 6 of us in the family, and we used to sit down in the kitchen, and my dad used to cut our hair. We never went to a hairdresser.
was putting up a tent in Scarborough. And what a windy day it was. And I says to Margaret, we're never going to get this tent up. And all of a sudden, people from round about helped us. Aye. Men and women, they come on. They seen us struggling, you see. And they come in right away. Aye, they were good.
Your mum used to come with me in the lorry, and when we went to Glasgow, he used to wash a lorry, and there was this boy, Ricky, and you had to pay him a couple of pounds for the wash. And Ricky used to give £2 to Julie. So she was happy if Ricky was on the gate, because she knew she would get the money that I gave him, she got it back. And that was just Glasgow folk. Just the way they did things.
Well, when I was at the school, I used to come down the stair, going to deliver milk in the morning, and my dad used to smell the porridge when you come down the stair. My dad had a porridge on boiling for our breakfast. And
it was to Santa Ponza. I can't mind the actual date. And I mind saying to myself, I never thought I would have seen us, me abroad. But after that, went every year. And after that, went every 2 years. And then when I retired, landed off every 3 times a year.
I had to go down to Wakefield with one of the tankers to get repaired, and had to come home in a train. And I said to my boss, I said, I've never been in a train. You've never been in a train, he said. And I had never been in a train, and that must have been about 2000, year 2000 or something. It was good to come up for York in a train, coming home again.
Didn't like it. But, the thrust getting away and that thing, I couldn't believe it. You can the engines just started up, and they went away a sudden, and the speed they were going at, and just up like that. But I wasn't so bad after a while. It didn't bother me when I was up in the air, but sometimes I felt when you was coming down, you think you're never going down.
we used to speak about the tatty holidays. That was about 3 weeks that you could go picking tatties. Tractor used to come into the village and pick up folk that was gone picking tatties, and off you set.
When my father was about 60, I used to think he was really old. And now that I'm 75, I didn't really feel that I'm old again. I think that something like that has changed.
I've learned to be a good wife, a good family. So
I sometimes think the same way as the older people, things they used to say, and I'm saying, well, as you get older, the time goes quicker. I'd heard that more than once, and I'm thinking the same now.
You could write a book if you, but I suppose many people would read it. But there's lots of, again, when you think about your life, like the things that happened, and it's been fine.
you get a lot of boys, they're tired and nothing to do, and it's a wasted time, and you get a lot of boys like that. But for day one, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's the best thing that happened to me.
My father used to say, the older you get, the quicker the time goes past. And I used to think that was a silly thing to say. But once you turn old, you find out that that's exactly what happens. Because all you have is memories to look back on. And once you're older, you have not really much to look forward to, because you can't fit like it's just, that's just what happens.
Midnight, were the stars and you. Midnight and a rendezvous. Your eyes held a message tender, saying I surrender all my love to you.